Good evening and I welcome to you all. It's a Constitution Day, Samvidhan Divas, or the National Law Day. Why we observe November 26 as the Samvidhan Divas? The reason behind it was November 26, 1949, when the Indian Constitution was adopted by Constituent Assembly. And this later, on January 26, 1950, this day, Indian Constitution came into force. And that's why November 26 is observed as the Samvidhan Divas. Okay? On this day, it is our right and duty as well to read out the preamble of the Indian Constitution. And the preamble of the Indian Constitution, Samvidhan ki Prastavna, is the Atma of the law of the land. I am placing before you the preamble of the Indian Constitution. If you like, you may also read out the Constitution of India, a preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens a justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves these constitutions. This is the preamble. Next, let us discuss more points regarding preamble of the Indian Constitution. Okay? So just to begin with, a preamble is an introductory statement in a document that explains the document's philosophy and objectives. In a constitution, it presents the intention of its framers, the history behind its creation, and the core values and the principles of the nation. The preamble basically gives idea of the following things or the objects. Number one, the source of the constitution, and number two, nature of Indian state, and number three, a statement of its objectives, and fourth, date of its adoption. Now come to the history of the preamble to the Indian Constitution. The ideas behind the preamble to India's Constitution were laid down by Jawaharlal Nehru's Objectives Resolution, adopted by the Constituent Assembly on January 22nd, 1947. Although not enforceable in court, the preamble states the objectives of the Constitution and acts as an aid during the interpretation of articles when language is found ambiguous. Now, see the components of the preamble. It is indicated by the preamble that the source of authority of the constitution lies with the people of India. Right to vote. Preamble declares that India to be sovereign, socialist, secular and democratic republic. The objectives stated by the preamble are to secure justice, and promote fraternity, to maintain unity and integrity of the nation. The date is mentioned in the preamble when it was adopted, that is November 26, 1949. Now come to know are the key words in the preamble. We the people of India, what does it mean? The meaning of the we the people of India, it indicates the ultimate sovereignty of the people of India. Sovereignty means the independent authority of the state, not being subject to the control of any other state or the external power. Next, see the sovereign. The term sovereign means that India has its own independent authority and it is not a dominion of any external power. In the country, the legislature has the power to make laws which are subject to certain limitations. Come to socialist. What does it mean? The term socialist means the achievement of socialist ends through democratic means. It holds faith in a mixed economy where both private and public sectors coexist side by side. It was added in the preamble by 42nd Amendment 1976. See the secular. The term secular means that all the religions in India get equal respect, protection and support from the state. It was incorporated in the preamble by 42nd Constitution Amendment 1976. Now see the democratic. The term democratic implies that the Constitution of India has an established form of constitution which gets its authority from the will of the people expressed in an election. Now come to the republic. The term republic indicates that the head of the state is elected by the people. In India, the President of India is the elected head of the state. Next, see the objectives of the Indian Constitution. Samvidhan, Bharatiya Samvidhan ka uddesha. The Constitution is the supreme law and it helps to maintain integrity in the society and to promote unity among the citizens to build a great nation. The main objective of the Indian Constitution is to promote harmony throughout the nation. The factors that help to achieve this objective are justice. It is necessary to maintain order in society. That is promised through various provisions of fundamental rights and directive principles of state policy provided by the Constitution of India. It comprises three elements, which is social, economic and political. Now come to social justice. Social justice means that the Constitution wants to create a society without discrimination on any grounds like caste, creed, gender, religion, etc. Economic justice. By economic justice we mean no discrimination can be caused or made by the people on the basis of their wealth, income and economic status. Every person must be paid equally for an equal position and all people must get opportunities to earn for their living. Political justice we mean all the people have an equal, free and fair right without any discrimination to participate in political opportunities. Equality. The term equality means No section of society has any special privileges, and to all the people have given equal opportunities for everything without any discriminations. Everyone is equal before the law or in the eyes of law. Liberty. The term liberty means freedom for the people to choose their way of life, have political views and behavior in society. Liberty does not mean freedom to do anything. A person can do anything but in the limits set by the law. The fraternity, it means a feeling of brotherhood and an emotional attachment with the country and all the people. Fraternity helps to promote dignity and unity in the nation. Now come to the importance or the significance of the objectives. It provides a way of life. It includes fraternity, liberty and equality as a nation, as a notion of a happy life, right? And which cannot be taken from each other. Liberty cannot be divorced from equality. Equality cannot be divorced from liberty. Nor can liberty and equality be divorced from fraternity. Without equality, liberty would produce the supremacy of the few over the many. Equality without liberty would kill individual initiative, and without fraternity, liberty would produce the so-called the supremacy of the law for the few over the many. Without fraternity, what will happen? Equality and liberty could not become a natural course of things. A status of the preamble. The preamble being part of the Constitution is discussed several times in the Supreme Court. It can be understood by reading few cases. Say, very case, it was used as a reference under Article 143(1) of the Constitution, which was on the implementation of the Indo-Pakistan Agreement related to the very Union and in exchanging the enclaves which were decided for consideration by the bench consisting of 8 judges. Through the very case, the court stated that the preamble is the key to open the mind of the makers, but it cannot be considered as a part of the Constitution. Therefore, it is not enforceable in a court of law. Next come to Akeswaran Bharati case. In this case, for the first time, a bench of 13 judges was assembled to bear a writ petition. The court held that the preamble of the Constitution will now be considered a part of the Constitution. The preamble is not the supreme power or the source of any restrictions or provision, but it plays an important role in the explanation of the statutes and the provisions of the Constitution. So it can be concluded that preamble is part of the introductory part of the Constitution. In the 1995 case of Indian government versus Airlines of India, also the Supreme Court has once again held that the preamble is the integral part of the Constitution, but is not directly enforceable in a court of justice in India. Amendment of the preamble for the Second Amendment Act 1976. After the judgment of the Akeswaran Bharati case, it was accepted that the preamble is a part of the Constitution, and as a part of the Constitution, preamble can be amended under Article 368 of the Constitution, but the basic structure of the preamble cannot be amended. Mind it, very important point. And as of now, the preamble is only amended once through the 42nd Amendment Act 1976. The terms socialist, secular and integrity were added to the preamble through 42nd Amendment Act 1976. Socialist and secular were added between sovereign and democratic. Unity of the nation was changed to unity and integrity of the nation. Now come to the objectives of the Indian state as social justice, social, economic and political. Equality of status and opportunity. Liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. Fraternity equal to the brotherhood, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. Date of the adoption. The date of the adoption of the Constitution, I told you earlier, was the 26th November 1949, but most of the articles in the Constitution came into force on January 26, 1950. Those articles which came into existence on 26 November 1949 is given by the Article 394. Article 394 states that this article, that is the 394, and Articles 5, 6, 7, listen carefully, 8, 9, 16, 324, 366, 367, 379, 380, 388, 399, 391, 392, 393 shall come into force at once, and the remaining provisions of the constitutions shall come into force on the 26th day of January 1950, which day is referred to in this constitution as the commencement of the constitutions. 26 January was selected for this purpose because it was this day in 1930 when the Declaration of Indian Independence, Purna Swaraj, was proclaimed by the Indian National Congress. Article 394 of the Constitution states that Article 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60, 324, 367, 379, 394 came into force since the adoption of the Constitution on November 26, 1949, and the rest of the provisions on 26 January 1950. The concept of liberty, equality, fraternity in our preamble was adopted from the French motto of the French Revolution. So, this way we have discussed a lot in this lecture. About the preamble of the Indian Constitution, which is the so-called the Atma or the heart of the Indian Constitution. Indian Constitution is the law of our land. Since it's 26th November today, it's Samvidhan Divas, and that's why it was just judicious to take this topic. Hope you must have enjoyed, as well as this lecture must benefit you on many counts, especially for civil services exam, PT, MENS, and even some of the provisions may be asked in the interview. Apart from the civil service exam, now this lecture is also important for other competitive exams. So, I wish you a very happy संविधान दिवस की शुभकामनाएं, और आपने you gave me a patience listening, and for this I extend my thanks a lot.